Well, to discuss the DA's recently launched manifesto and proposed solutions, we're now joined by the Democratic Alliance's second Deputy Federal Chairperson and DA Tshwane mayoral candidate, Cilliers Brink. Cilliers Brink, thank you so much for your time. While you've heard the people, you've heard what they had to say. You also, of course, wear many hats in the DA coming up to the local government elections in November, the DA's second Deputy Federal Chair, as well as the DA's Tshwane mayoral candidate, a position you hope to reclaim. So take us back to this manifesto. When drafting it, how much of the how instead of the what have you addressed, given just some of the key learnings from municipalities that you've also have governed?
So the what is water, electricity, roads, affordability for ratepayers, and making sure that we in fact create the conditions where people will come and invest in the municipalities and create jobs and create future in our communities. That is, of course, also central to safety. That is the what. The how, the manifesto goes into a great measure of detail. For example, on water and electricity, we make the critical point that unless we involve the private sector in the upgrading and the operation of water and electricity, we're simply not going to get the kind of advances we need in order to improve service delivery. Just like from a national perspective, Operation Vulindlela has involved the private sector in the operation of the railways and the ports, we need the same for water, electricity, and waste collection. In order to do that, we have to ring fence the money municipalities make from water. It must be reinvested into water infrastructure. From electricity, it must be reinvested in electricity infrastructure. From waste collection, it must be reinvested into landfill sites and to transfer stations so that we can ensure that the infrastructure is upgraded, that public spaces are clean.
So, just listening to just some of your how South Africans in the main want politicians to stop delivering messages of hope and actually do the talking, as in walk the talk. You've been promising competent, clean and opportunity-driven government for years now. But that becomes extremely difficult when motions of no confidence become the order of the day, as we've seen in coalition governments. I mean, does your manifesto adequately address some of the coalition instability?
Well, our manifesto is an offer to South Africans to vote for in the first instance. You won't find coalitions on the ballot box. For us to be effective, whether as DA majority governments, and let's be honest about this, where municipalities work the best is where the DA is the strongest in those municipalities. Best access to services, including to the poor, best rates of investment, higher rates of employment. So DA government works. That is our offer to the people of South Africa. But of course, we understand that our electoral system is designed in many instances to deliver coalitions. But we've also seen 10 years of coalition chaos, of smaller parties playing off the DA and the ANC against each other, trying to get a beneficial position for themselves. And so in the run-up to this election, one key message, aside from the manifesto, which is our plan of government, if we have the power to deliver on that plan, aside from that, our message to the voters is that they have to give us a clear mandate in order to govern. We have to end the coalition chaos. If we don't get parties that can take the lead in councils, whether by majority or in stable coalitions, then unfortunately the motions of no confidence and all this other stuff will continue. But what we've also seen is that when voters stay away from the ballot box, if you don't have high rates of participation, all number of smaller fly-by-night parties get into councils and they cause chaos. And so, again, it is a call to South Africans to come up in large numbers and vote for change. We're a democracy. You can only get change via the ballot box, and our offer can only be effective if, in fact, we get the mandate to deliver it in government.
And what in the coming months leading up to the November elections should South Africans be looking out for in just some of the promises that are contained in your manifesto? And should you win then some of those municipalities that you are eyeing for, what are you putting to put your political stake on to say that this is sacrosanct to what we will deliver?
So our priorities are clear. We have to upgrade services. We have to make our roads and communities safe. We have to draw investment and jobs so that we can create local jobs for ordinary people. Those priorities are very, very clear. We don't try and do everything, but we focus on the basics of local government. Because if you get water, electricity, waste collection, roads, if you get that right, if bills are accurate and fair, then the investors will come, the jobs will come. Get the basics right, and then you'll move on. So what you can expect from the Democratic Alliance is that we will go to every corner of this country and introduce our candidates. That's very, very important. The quality of ward councillors is very, very important. We've got a rigorous process that has just been completed. We're going to introduce our mayoral candidates, and the voters can then compare who are going to make the key decisions if I vote for this party or that party. Do we want the coalition chaos to predominate, or do we want change to happen? And we hope to make that offer clear to the South African people.
Cilliers Brink, thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. Of course, Cilliers Brink speaking about the manifesto that was launched by the Democratic Alliance earlier today.